I really thought we got lost in there since we spent over 2 hours shopping around only to buy nothing. Oh, and ignore this
disheveled
sketch. Wet layer of paint evenly coated on a surface. Here's the thing, IKEA has technically made blind bags before. They look like this, but unfortunately for me, they only featured plush keychains inside and were exclusive to select regions of Asia. So I thought to myself, why don't I make an IKEA blind box? I have the creative skills to do that, I think. But let me try and gather some supplies for this project. I have my trusty white printer paper, a mechanical pencil and ruler, and this perfect box of probiotics. I thought this was the perfect size for a blind box, similar to the sizes of blind boxes from Pop Mart. In fact, I love this box so much, I ripped and dismantled every last binding. Wow, so much for loving the box. So that we are left with its 2D version. But you might be wondering why I'm still using the white paper when I already have a pre-made box in front of me. I'm just tracing the edges of the box template onto the white paper with my Sharpie so that I have a copy of the box template to save for later. That way, when I make blind boxes in the future, I won't need to redraw the template from scratch. I'll store this safely, don't you worry. Well, I guess my notebook's gotta go. But back to our probiotics box, there's just too many prints going on here, so I want to cover this entire box in blue. I have my lovely apple barrel blue paint, just your average but trustworthy acrylic paint. I also have this blue construction paper from my scrap paper pile. I will never show that pile on camera, it's a colossal mess right now. I'm ripping off a small piece to use as my quote-unquote paint palette. I really just need to buy an actual palette, but let's squirt a dollop of paint on my paint palette, and I'm using my paintbrush to plaster this box in blue. Now I just want to say IKEA is just an experience. I remember one of my first times going there with my family. I really thought we got lost in there since we spent over 2 hours shopping around only to buy nothing. And I don't usually buy anything from IKEA, I'm just there for the vibes. Anyways, coat number 1 is complete. After I let the box dry, I'm going in for coat number 2, using my DIY paint palette and DIY... I almost said DIY paint, let's not go there. This coat is just to cover up the remaining empty spots that weren't fully covered the first time around. By the way, I really admire a freshly wet layer of paint evenly coated on a surface, just divine. While the second coat is drying, I drew some prototype sketches of what this IKEA blind box cover could look like. My initial idea was to put the title on top and a simple home icon underneath. Then I considered putting just the logo right smack in the middle because minimalism is yes. My last idea was to again put the title on top, but then draw a series of simplistic furniture designs to reinforce the idea that IKEA is a homeware store. Oh, and ignore this
disheveled
sketch. I didn't want to show that. But I think for the actual blind box cover, the design will be a combination of these ideas. So I'm back with a box. I sketched out my design off camera because there's little way you'd be able to see what I'm sketching with this darkish blue background. You probably can't tell, but I wrote IKEA with a Y here, simply for copyright reasons, I don't know. I'm going in with my yellow brush tip pen to outline my pencil sketches. Yeah, now with the yellow being introduced into the equation, you can clearly see that letter Y now. So the logo is right smack in the middle. I'm also drawing 4 simplistic furniture icons that I got from this image here. I'm not sure if these are official IKEA icons, but if they're not, boy, do they sure encapsulate the IKEA aesthetic well. To be honest, I'm not sure what half the icons I drew were. Like, I recognized the table light on the top right and a computer mouse on the bottom right, but the other 2, absolutely no clue. Well, whatever they are, it's drawn on the box now. Now I'm rotating the box to write hello in Swedish. I'm not even going to try pronouncing that, but you know, that's a word you would find near or at the entrance of any IKEA. I stopped writing halfway and realized I needed to thick up the lines, so yeah, that was a task. On this area I'm hovering around, I'd imagine there'd be some sort of advertising or promoting, like free Wi-Fi or a QR code that'll give you like a 5-cent discount, but I'm too lazy to write all of that, so I think this message will suffice for now. No hard feelings, right? Finally, for the backside, let's make our legend. For those of you who are new viewers, Blind Bag Legends list out all of the rarities that you can possibly get. Each rarity accompanies a symbol. I know commercially manufactured blind boxes show you every single possible item you can unbox to find, but since this is a DIY blind bag, it's just easier to write a key. Wow, these icons remind me of Squid Game. No, we're not entering that world right now. On the bottom right corner, I'm making something that I'd never make with blind bags, a barcode. I figured it was the best way to fill up that empty space on the bottom while adding a slightly more professional look. I say professional while drawing crooked barcode lines. As expected, couldn't have bothered to get your lazy bum up and retrieve a ruler, huh? Oh, and I realized that there's supposed to be 2 digits surrounding the barcode. after I was done using my permanent black pen, but now I'm going to attach the barcode onto the back of the blind box using a glue bottle. And this is what it's looking like so far. Next, I'm breaking open my blue acrylic paint to fix up any messy marks and smudges I may have made throughout the designing process. It may look like I've made little progress in this clip because I've only been retouching the IKEA logo, but trust me, I did a lot of precision work trying to get the letters to look how I wanted them to. We're almost done here. I'm then taking my white pen to write my signature. Wow, that's off-centered. May or may not drive me crazy later. The last step before we reassemble our box template, I'm covering my design with Mod Podge to add a protective layer on top. That way I don't have to worry about scratching the paint off or something like that. Alright, I gotta wash this paintbrush now. Oh, sorry, one more thing. This extra divider is getting in the way of everything, so you won't be missed. Actually, we're going to use this piece later. Never mind, I never said that. The reason why I left this remaining edge intact is for it to act as a binding surface to aid in this box assembly. Don't mind me just pinching the box together while the glue is drying. I'm repeating the same process for the bottom side, and with that, here is our blind box shell. Next, let's work on the You Got paper. For those of you who are new to the DIY blind bag scene, the You Got paper is a piece of paper that indicates what rarity you get inside of a blind bag or blind box. I'm using the scrap paper that I ferociously tore apart from the box. Well, actually, instead of a You Got paper that flips open, I want to make a card. This is when I realized that I had a blue brush tip pen that I could have used to color the box template. I don't know, I thought that'd be noteworthy to mention. So here I am cutting out a rectangle, rounding off the sharp edges. Now that I have my card, I'm dusting off the paper scraps from my surface. And I'm proceeding to color in one face with a flat blue. It's looking kind of streaky to be honest, so I'm going in for a second layer. It's not amazing, but it looks better than how it was the first time around. Next, I'm using a compass to draw a perfect circle because I lack the freehanding skills to do so. You know how there are information desks throughout IKEA with the eye symbol? Yeah, that's what I'm drawing here with my white pen. By the way, I rarely see anybody near those IKEA information desks. I don't know, maybe that's just me. Here it is, but as for the rarity, we'll determine that later. Now for the item, I wanted to make a mini furniture piece from paper, but didn't know exactly what to make. So I went onto the IKEA website and searched for the most popular furniture pieces as of recently, and my eyes landed on this one. This 8-cabinet storage unit that I actually have in my room. Though not sure if the one I have is from IKEA, but that's what I'm making today. Here, I'm starting to form the frame of the unit while making sure that the dimensions of the frame will fit inside the box. How tragic would that be if I constructed the entire thing, only to have to redo everything because of its size? I originally thought that I could get away with using one band of paper to build a rectangular frame, but clearly that was not the case. No problem though, let's just make a second band of paper, trim a piece off, and slide it between the unclosed prongs to form a frame. I also used the leftovers from the second band of paper to form a vertical divider for the storage unit. For the horizontal dividers, I pre-cut these 3 shelves that will attach itself to the frames by the sides. But the vertical divider is not going to fit in if I just leave things like this. So to solve this, I'm making 3 equally spaced half cuts on the vertical divider, as well as a midline cut on each horizontal divider so that we can slide the vertical and horizontal dividers together. I'm repeating this step 2 more times until we have this creepy plant looking thing, or at least that's what it looks like to me right now. I'm adding glue to the edges that are sticking up and then inserting this contraption into the frame as so. I know the dividers are not exactly level and straight, but it's good enough in my book to proceed to decorating. Let's face it, if I had just inserted this inside the blind box and called it a day, I wouldn't be satisfied. I want to make some storage bins. So I'm going in with my leftover blue construction paper to make a mini box that'll fit inside a divider. I have a pet peeve with these storage bins, and I don't know if this is a shopping skill issue, but I always end up buying storage bins with a strap on it, and no matter how well I take care of these straps, they always snap on me. But anyways, I made 2 blue storage bins to place in the diagonal. And to match the IKEA aesthetic, I used some yellow construction paper to make 2 more storage bins to fill out the bottom half of the storage unit. Now for the last part, I'm taking a small rectangular sheet of paper in order to make a price tag label. Here it is. I want the price tag to be draping from the top however, so I'm cutting out a thin strip of paper and then attaching that to the top of the storage unit. One last check to see if everything will fit inside. Now just for extra protection, I'm sifting through my plastic bag collection to find the perfect encasing for our miniature furniture. I think this will do the trick. Slide the furniture piece inside, closing the plastic up, and here's our completed item. Now back to the You Got card, I guess. Oh, I altered the shaping of the eye because I chose to be neurotic about that. And looking at the back, it seems like some of the blue from the front side bled onto the back. No worries, we'll just cover that up with our white pen. As for the rarity, I'm going to choose rare. It's a visually complex item, but it's not the most eye-catching papercraft I've made. With that, I'm inserting the item and the You Got card into the blind box. And wait, one more thing. Can't forget a complimentary IKEA pencil. This is crucial. But we will close everything up, and here's our completed IKEA blind box. I'm super satisfied with how this turned out. I feel like all of the design choices I made were tasteful and faithful to what I believe the IKEA atmosphere emanates. Alright, chill out with that descriptive language. This is not literature class. But even if you hate or don't know much about IKEA, I hope you guys can at least appreciate my efforts to make a blind box in my imagination into a reality. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. Let me know what kind of content you'd like to see next, and I'll see you guys later. Meepyblues out.